Ever finish a brutal workout, shirt soaked, heart still racing, and expect to feel refreshed? But instead, you just feel kind of heavy. Not in a dramatic way. Just off. Muscles stay tight longer than usual. Energy dips for no clear reason. Skin looks a bit dull, even though, on paper, you did everything right. I used to think that meant I wasn't training hard enough, but it might actually suggest the opposite. See, your body already comes with a pretty solid cleanup system. Liver, kidneys, sweat, lymph, gut. They're constantly working in the background. No fancy detox plan required. But when you push your training, heavy lifts, intense sessions, chasing progress, you also create more internal byproducts. Things like metabolic waste, inflammation, oxidative stress. Nothing abnormal there. Where it gets tricky is when your body can't clear all of that fast enough. That's when the subtle stuff shows up. You stay sore longer than expected. Recovery drags. You feel more drained than energized. Sleep gets a bit off. Motivation drops, even if you don't quite notice it at first. So it's probably not that training itself is the issue. More likely, your output has increased, but your recovery habits haven't quite kept pace. One way to picture it, I heard this from a coach once, is like upgrading your engine without improving the exhaust system. It runs harder, sure, but over time, things start to back up. The upside is, fixing this isn't as complicated as it sounds. You don't need to stop training hard. You don't need extreme cleanses or cutting calories to the floor. In most cases, it's just a few small adjustments, the kind you can slip into your day without overthinking it. And once those are in place, the difference is noticeable. Recovery feels smoother. Energy levels stop bouncing around. Even soreness becomes more manageable. You might not feel like a completely different person overnight, but you'll probably feel a bit lighter, a bit clearer, which, honestly, is enough to make you realize something was off before. So it's worth taking a closer look at what's actually happening inside your body when you train, and how to support it, instead of just pushing harder and hoping for the best. So what's actually happening inside your body when you train hard? If you slow it down for a second, every rep, every sprint, every set to failure is basically controlled stress. You're breaking tissue down on purpose. A bit of inflammation shows up, along with waste your body now has to deal with. That burning feeling mid-set? Yeah, that's part of the story. Normally, your body handles this pretty well. Blood flow increases, you start sweating, and your lymphatic system, kind of like a quiet drainage network, helps move waste out of your muscles. But it doesn't always work as smoothly as it should. From what I've seen, and honestly done myself, most people train hard, then sit for hours. They sweat a lot, but barely drink enough water. They push intensity, but don't really give their body a chance to clear anything out. So things linger longer than they should. One simple fix that often gets overlooked is more low-intensity sweating. Sounds counterintuitive, but adding 20 to 30 minutes of light movement outside your main workout, like easy jogging, cycling, even jump rope, can help your body clear stuff out faster. Not because it's intense, but because it keeps everything moving. And if you've ever just stopped right after lifting, try this instead. Add 10 to 15 minutes of easy cardio. Nothing crazy, just enough to keep your heart rate steady. It seems to help your body clean up right after the workout, instead of letting everything sit there. Then there's hydration, which people love to oversimplify. Drinking more water helps, sure. But if you're training hard and sweating a lot, plain water might not be enough. Without some electrolytes, your body doesn't hold on to it very well. A quick fix I like: just water with a pinch of salt, some lemon, maybe a bit of honey. Nothing fancy, but it works. And oddly enough, starting your day with warm lemon water before eating seems to wake your system up a bit. Not magic, but it feels like it gets digestion moving sooner. Another piece that's easy to miss is how much your lymph system depends on movement. Unlike your heart, it doesn't have a pump. So if your routine is lift, sit, repeat, things can get a bit sluggish. That's where small things help more than you'd expect. A few twisting yoga poses, light jumping, even just walking 20 to 40 minutes. Not exhausting, just consistent. And if your body already feels run down, low energy, poor sleep, soreness that won't go away, it might actually be a sign to ease off, not push harder. Switching from long HIIT sessions to lighter movement for a few days can sometimes help more than grinding through fatigue. Then there's temperature, which I used to ignore completely. After a tough workout, your body is inflamed. It's part of the process. But alternating hot and cold water, even just in the shower, seems to help circulation. Hot expands, cold tightens. That shift might help move things along and reduce soreness. You don't need ice baths or anything extreme either. Ending your shower cold a few times a week is already a solid start. If you step back, the pattern is pretty clear. You're not trying to force detox. You're just giving your body better conditions to do what it's already built to do. Move more, hydrate properly, keep things circulating. And when you actually stay consistent with that, you feel the difference. It's not dramatic overnight, but it's noticeable. Still, there are a couple of areas people tend to ignore that can either support all of this or quietly cancel it out. This is kind of the point where everything either clicks or quietly starts to drift off. Because you can train hard, sweat a ton, even stay on top of hydration. But if your everyday habits are slightly off, your body still struggles to keep up. It's subtle, which is probably why a lot of people miss it. Food is a good place to start, and it doesn't need to get complicated. Just think in terms of what your body actually uses. The liver, for example, runs its own cleanup process, but it seems to rely heavily on certain nutrients to do that well. When you're eating things like spinach, broccoli, or even a simple bowl with greens and some protein, you're likely giving it what it needs to keep things moving. I used to ignore that and just focus on calories and protein. It worked, to a point, but recovery always felt a bit off. On the other hand, when meals are mostly processed, high sugar, alcohol here and there, it's not just unhealthy in a general sense. It may actually slow down the same systems that are trying to help you recover. So your body ends up juggling priorities. Deal with what you just ate, or repair what you just trained. And repair doesn't always win. There are also a few habits that sound almost too simple to matter, but they seem to help more than expected. Dry brushing, for example. 5 minutes before a shower, just brushing upward from your legs and arms. It might stimulate circulation under the skin. Hard to measure directly, but it does leave you feeling a bit more awake. Same with an Epsom salt bath after a heavy session. Not a miracle fix, but the magnesium seems to help muscles relax, and you come out feeling noticeably less tight. Then there's sleep, which people talk about a lot, but still cut short. From what we know, your brain actually clears waste while you sleep. Hormones rebalance, inflammation drops. If you're only getting 4 to 5 hours or waking up constantly, you're probably carrying that fatigue into the next day, whether you notice it or not. I've done that. Trained anyway, pushed through, and it works for a while. But things start to stack up. 7 to 9 hours seems to be the range where everything works better. Even small details like sleeping on your side might help fluid movement overnight. Not a huge factor, but it adds up over time. If you ignore all this and just keep pushing, more volume, more intensity, less rest, you can still make progress at first. But gradually, soreness sticks around longer. Energy dips feel normal. You lean more on caffeine. You get sick more often than you'd expect. And the weird part is, it doesn't feel like you're doing anything wrong. Your body just seems overloaded. But when you support it properly, things shift. Recovery feels quicker. Energy evens out. Even your skin and mood improve a bit. Training feels smoother, like your body is actually ready for it instead of catching up. So detox doesn't really have to mean extremes. It's more about staying consistent with basics that are easy to overlook. Drink enough, move regularly, even outside the gym. Eat in a way that supports recovery, not just performance. Use simple tools like hot-cold showers if they work for you. And treat sleep like part of training, not something optional. You don't need to change everything at once. Just try 1 or 2 adjustments and see how your body responds. Because once you start feeling the difference, even slightly, it's hard to ignore. And training starts to feel less like something you're pushing through, and more like something your body can actually keep up with.